I want to talk about a couple of these tweets and get some explanation for the hits.
Yeah.
So you have This Is March. That one is taking on its own life. This Is March is like.
Well, and then like
have
you know,
patented it?
What?
Do you have like rights to that?
I don't have the rights to it yet.
We should do that. We got it. Actually, just
you
declared.
get that.
We got it.
Look, maybe down the road, but nothing yet.
Okay, and then you also have the spinoff. This is only November. This is only December to let you know that it's not March.
Correct.
Right. So you also are almost
You're trying to stay on brand.
Yeah, you're like a calendar too. Like we know what month it is if you follow you.
And you know we only sleep in May.
What about tougher than a long weekend at your in-laws?
For West Virginia basketball.
Do you only use it for West Virginia?
Only use that for West Virginia.
Okay.
Here's the thing about West Virginia. It's interesting. I went to a practice a couple of years ago, you know, when obviously Huggs was the coach, and it's 3 hours, and it's all the 3 hours.
Yep.
And I was like sitting there, and it's like hand-to-hand combat. They're scrimmaging, and they go through 9 possessions each for a team, and they're keeping score, and it's 2-2. And like I'm sitting there, and I'm just like, this is like Russell Crowe in Gladiator.
There we go.
Like
We're
that,
getting a little bit. There you go.
That was like what I was getting into, and I couldn't believe it. So I was just like, you know, I'm just sitting there in practice. Huggs is walking around. He's going hard after. I remember Sagaba Kanate, who you remember. Javon Carter was on the team.
Yep. For 15 years.
And I was just kind of like this. I was like, this practice is like tougher than a weekend at somebody's in-laws, and I'm not even married. I was like, wait a minute.
That's
And
gold.
then- he had
Jon
gold.
Rothstein gold.
So I was like, for the first game, I'm going to tweet it.
Did you write it down?
Wrote it down in my notebook. And the best part is, this year they were struggling, and when I tweeted it, all the West Virginia fans were like, God, how I missed this tweet. I don't want to take it for granted anymore.
I like that. I like the fact that you're not even married, but you just know how tough a weekend at the in-laws can be.
I've heard stories. I've been single in New York for a long time.
There
I'm
you
not
go.
single now, but
All right.
Okay, I've got one here that I actually have a bone to pick with. West Virginia is like a Fortune 500 company.
That's Villanova.
Or, sorry, Villanova is like a Fortune 500 company. It runs itself. Do you know how Fortune 500 companies work, like with the CEO and board of directors?
Well, I tweak that. I tweak that one, and now it's just Villanova Basketball has become a Fortune 500 company, and now it's just Villanova Basketball, a Fortune 500 company. That was in the early stages. Like I'm thinking, like Topher Grace in Good Company. Remember that when they started?
Of course,
that? You know, with the movie with Dennis Quaid. You know, Scarlett Johansson before she became Scarlett Johansson. But that was more the early stages, so on and so forth.
How have you seen a movie in the last 5 years?
In the last 5 years?
Yeah.
What did I see recently? Creed 2, I was very disappointed
Okay.
with.
Oh,
The
yeah.
original Creed, like you give me Ricky
But
Collins
that's a
7 days
movie from the 80s, so
Yeah.
of course you saw that.
Creed 2?
No, I'm saying like it's the Rocky. like,
Jurassic World?
Yeah,
2?
you're just
That's-
picking
yeah, that's from the
movies that have been
mid-90s.
remade.
Yeah.
I read that you watch a part of Rocky 2, Rocky 3, or Rocky 4 before every time you go on the air. Is that still true?
That was true. I've had to decrease my Rocky influence because my girlfriend moved in my apartment, and I have this big plaque in my apartment of Rocky 2, 3, and 4 on one wall.
I can't believe you were single for this long.
And then on the other side, there's a picture of Rocky 4 as well. I mean, for a while, you know, that was it.
Rocky consumed your life.
That was it, man. Did you guys think Over the Top was underrated?
I love that
Over
movie.
the Top is great.
Over
Arm
the Top,
wrestling.
yeah.
One of the best.
One of the
Although
best.
the little kid is such a he's so annoying.
Yeah, but the world does meet nobody halfway.
There we go. Right. What about a VCU home game more life-altering than a 10-day trip to Europe? So
Yeah.
a couple questions here. One is, have you done a 10-day trip to Europe?
Never been to Europe. I've never been to Europe. No, I've never been to Europe. I've never had a cup of coffee. I've never played golf, and I've never had a glass of wine.
Okay. You never had a glass of wine?
No, I tried it once, didn't stick.
Okay. All right. So you've heard that going to Europe for 10 days is life-altering.
True story. I was back and forth with a girl for 2 years, and you know, polar opposites. Really nice girl or whatever. But this was like peak Shaka.
Okay.
And, like, you know, we would get into arguments and stuff. She'd be like, oh, you got to get more cultured. Like, you haven't, you know, even been to Europe or whatever. I was like, yeah, but you haven't been to a home game at the Siegel Center. and I was like, this was peak Shaka. This was Travion Graham, Briante Weber. Like, you want to do push-ups on picket fences when they put the press on. And so this was kind of my subtle way after we broke up to kind of, like, send, you know, a shot across the bow.
Oh, I like that.
Nice. You're subtweeting your ex-girlfriend.
Now I really like it
Yeah,
because
that's
every time you put that out there, I know that somebody's just getting like a knife twisted.
Have you ever explained these? Because these are so great. Like, these make them so much better in my mind.
No, but please, go on. I'm enjoying it.
All right, here's another one. We've got a few of these. Virginia basketball, a thing of beauty.
2014-15 season, Kentucky starts out 38-0, and people are killing Virginia. Virginia's the other team, remember, until Justin Anderson got hurt. People are saying, well, Virginia could beat Kentucky, and I'm watching them game after game.
Only one team could beat Kentucky that year.
Wisconsin,
Yes.
but they lost to Duke.
Yeah, okay, all right.
Okay.
We digress.
But I'm watching, Virginia play throughout the season, and if you're a basketball purist, not turning it over, taking good shots, and the way they could control the game.
You like that pack line defense?
you're an old guy,
I have great respect, and look, I know we're taping this before the NCAA tournament. Virginia's went 33-3 in the ACC regular season over the last 2 years.
Right.
And it's not Duke. Like, you have to tip your cap at some point. So I was just like, this is a thing of beauty. And I was like, wait a minute. Everybody says it's ugly. And I was like, I'm going to drop this. And all of a sudden it's like,
Do you have your notebook on you right now?
I have one in my bag.
Yeah. You're like, in case genius strikes in the moment.
I always sleep with a notebook and a pen, not far away. Because if I get a thought.
Yeah, we knew that. Yeah, you didn't have to tell us that.